This is episode 5 of the Heavy Hockey Podcast. We are live on YouTube, X, Facebook, and Edmonton Sports Talk via TuneIn and iHeartRadio tonight. I'm Ryan Lotsberg, joined by Dash in the Park and Patrick, the Oilers fanatic. Gentlemen, how's it going tonight?
Doing well, Lotsy. Here we are again.
Yeah, time for another Wednesday episode of the Heavy Hockey Podcast. So just before we start getting into last night's game and some of the other games over the past week or so here in this homestand, I think it's important that we kind of take a minute to address the trade rumors that were speculated upon by our very own Oilers Live. I know Patrick and I hopped on a podcast with Michael immediately after that rumor came out and after that post came out. And if you missed it, Michael was fed some information from a very reliable and trustworthy source that said a deal with the Penguins was 100% likely happening, and that it involved Stuart Skinner, Matthias Janmark, and picks, not the goaltender, draft picks, going the other way to Pittsburgh in exchange for Tristan Jarry and Parker Witherspoon. And nothing has materialized on that front ever since. And we've seen other sources speculate or report on potential deals between the Oilers and the Penguins involving Jarry. And nothing's come to fruition yet. And Elliot Friedman has come out and said that the Oilers are hoping to keep Skinner as part of this tandem with Jarry, and the Penguins are unwilling to retain. So we're at a bit of an impasse here. So Michael's source is very trustworthy, and Michael doesn't post anything unless he's 100% certain. And this is just one of those situations where negotiations are ongoing and sometimes things change. So I don't necessarily think that Michael's information was wrong. I just think that the goalposts moved and things changed, and here we are. So, yeah, Patrick, I don't know if you want to address it at all.
Well, I'm sure multiple different scenarios were addressed, and probably in one of them, the Michael got from his source was that Stuart Skinner was going to go in it. But we know now from Elliot Friedman's report from last Saturday that Calvin Pickard would probably be the goaltender, not necessarily maybe going to Pittsburgh, but he would be the one leaving the tandem. And the Oilers wanted to go with the tandem of Skinner and Jarry. So Stuart Skinner likely not going anywhere at this point. If the Oilers do get another goaltender, it sounds like it's going to be a Calvin Pickard replacement. So, yeah, we'll see what happens here. Like the Pittsburgh Penguins Tristan Jarry thing obviously didn't come out of nowhere. Lots of people have been talking about it, so I wouldn't say it's any false information. It's maybe just not the latest information, and it continues to change, as you were saying. Kyle Dubas moving the goalposts on the potential deal. So we know the Oilers are interested in Tristan Jarry, but so many obstacles to get through there. I don't know if that one will actually indeed come to fruition. Yeah, that's kind of the latest there.
I believe wholeheartedly that the goalpost moved. I wouldn't necessarily go ahead and throw Dubas's name on that though. It could have been a Bowman, goalpost move. It could have been a third team that needed to get involved to pick up, some potential cap if the Kulak part of it that was rumored was true. That looked like it was going to be another team, right? So
yeah, that was part of it too. Kulak needed a new home to make the money work.
So who knows? Heavy Hockey wasn't the only person, and Michael wasn't the only person that had that out. It was talked about by Kevin Weeks and Freeman. Where there was smoke, there was fire. Obviously, factors changed that, whether it was goalposts or whether it was the shutout Skinner put up. Quite honestly, it certainly probably slowed that train down. If that's not a Skinner shutout in that game, and that's another 7-0 blowout the other way, maybe we see something different today.
Yeah, it's funny. 100%. Yeah, like going back to when Jay Woodcroft was fired. I mean, because my buddy Tyson over from Dolny TV, we were kind of talking about this and how the situations kind of vary there. I mean, like, when you've gone down the path that you're going to fire your coach, it's kind of because we saw Jay Woodcroft win a game just before he got fired.
We broke that one too. Yeah, we were right, though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, you were right. Absolutely. But it's just comparing the situations. Once you're going down, changing a head coach, it's a lot harder to say, well, we're not going to do that now. Once you started the process, like you can't backtrack on your decision. For a trade, it's kind of easier. Like, well, things are actually starting to turn. We're not going to do this. It's easier to stop on a dime. So there were some similarities, but also some big differences between like firing a head coach and making a trade. It's easier to shut it down if you want to do that.
And speaking personally on the Woodcroft one, we had, 5 average sources, which equaled very good, that allowed us to put the pieces together. This one was one very good source. So, like it's hard to put these things together sometimes. And, I think Tommy and Dusty addressed it on the oil stream, and maybe it's not the smartest idea to always try to jump out and race to be the first to break these things, but necessarily that's never something we've been about anyways. Like even the times where we've been right, which is honestly most of the time, it's usually phrased in a way that's, we're hearing this and that sort of thing. So, I do believe Michael took a bit of a swing there and trusted somebody that is very, very plugged in and very intelligent and very knowledgeable and trustworthy, that, probably caught some information that ended up changing on him. And maybe Michael put it out there too quick before we could backtrack. And, that's life. We've never professed to be insiders. We just try to share news when we hear it. And you can follow us if you want, and that's okay if you don't.
Well, all it takes is a phone call, right? And then things change. So, I mean, you can't, just because they've said one thing 20 minutes later, the information changes or the decision changes. I mean,
yeah. I think, the whole Two Dogs podcast probably made this a whole little, exponentially worse, and the way that all spun out. But that's another story I don't want to get into. Just thought worth mentioning. So, did you guys see the game last night?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Skinner's been playing a lot better. Skinner's been playing a lot better since all that came out, and so have the Oilers. But yeah, let's get into last night's game. Not Skinner's best effort, not the team's best effort, especially through the first 40 minutes where it was 3-0 after 40. But they stepped up and made it exciting in the end. Unbelievable finish. Connor McDavid ties the game with 2 seconds left. And then the balloon got popped in Rogers' place as Alex Tuck potted the game-winning goal 5-hole on Stu Skinner. Bad read by McDavid in OT. But let's get some preliminary thoughts on the game here, gentlemen. Dash, you want to kick us off?
Regretting not drafting somebody named Doan since 1995.
And his offspring is still making us live that one down.
Although I guess we can't have our cake and eat it too, because I was also supposed to be Jesper Wallstedt. So, I guess we should have had all the players in the NHL for that pick. Well, or not all of them, just any of them, but Xavier Borgo. Yeah, I was telling you guys this before we started. I listened to 75% of the game. I did catch beginning, end, and then watched highlights to catch up with myself in the middle. So, what is there to say? This team kind of, it's a lot like my high school report card. The teacher's got the little note at the bottom, and it says, this student has figured out the absolute easiest way to get by. And, the next teacher writes, man, if the focus was just there for the entire class, you'd unrealized potential. That's our hockey team. They have absolutely triple black belt like skill in doing the absolute least to get by. And this year is maybe the most prime example of it that we've seen in a long time. Lotsy, you were probably on this show. It might have predated you, Patrick, in your time at Heavy Hockey, but Lotsy probably remembers the Oilers Live where I had this revelation where I'm like, okay, fine. They don't have to play 60 minutes anymore. I'm over it. You learn to win as a good team when you go to the finals, like the Oilers of 83 and the Oilers of 23 and the Oilers of 25. They're 24. 25. Well, it's all a blur. You learn how to lose, and the Oilers, in learning how to lose, you learn how to pace yourselves, you learn how to self-load manage, and oh my God, are they doing that this year? Like, just here, let me squeeze a point out of playing 18 minutes instead of like, let's just pour it on for 40 every once in a while. Like, they're literally squeezing blood out of a rock where it isn't there for effort to do the absolute least to get by. And you know what? They're doing what the Oilers do. They're starting to turn it up. We'll have 55 games left. They'll start to turn it up again. There'll be 40 games left. They'll start to turn it up again. And they'll make the playoffs, and they'll do what they do. But man, the time off, the self-load manage, it's sure getting uglier and uglier. You know, and we've said this for a long time. Bouchard, when he takes a night off, it's the most glaring, and the errors are the most egregious. And Patrick, did he or did he not make perhaps the most egregious giveaway by an Oilers defenseman since the '88 playoffs, when Steve Smith banged one off Fear's heel, if anybody needs the reference?
Yeah, it looked pretty close to that. I mean, you just like, if you blinked, you missed it, and it's like, what are you doing?
Oh, I think that was a long blink by Bouchard then, because he certainly missed it, right?
Yeah. No, he was. Well, he's been the talk of oil country today. He was terrible last night, but he's also been a lot better as of late. So you don't want to crush on him too much. But you're right. It's totally a case of load management. This team just decides when they're going to show up. When they want to show up, they win 9-4, 6-2, and not saying Seattle and Winnipeg are the top of the league right now, but probably against a good team, that's at least 4 or 5 goals, I would think. Like you say, in that 9-4 game, like with how well they were playing, how well they were moving the puck, they were dangerous almost every shift. And the one thing I liked a bit more about the Seattle game than the Winnipeg game was that they kept it up for 60 minutes. They didn't stop. It was the Winnipeg, they slowed down a bit more, but they were still fine defensively, so they could get through it. But the Seattle game, I liked it for, it was almost 60 minutes. Like, they were going for 10 goals. And then if Janmark doesn't fall there in the final minute, they might get that 10th goal. But yeah, last night it was going for, it wasn't even the full 20 minutes. Like, they started playing in the third period, and they started good for probably the first 10, but then it really slowed down, and then they pushed in the final minutes and got that beautiful last second goal. That place just went nuts when McDavid got that tying goal. That was so amazing. And then just such a huge letdown to see them, how they fell in overtime like that. I mean, emotions all over the place. I was ticked off after 40, elated after 60, and then 2 minutes later,
just disgusted after 62. Like, let's hit the chat here for a second. Some stranger dude just zoned right out. Austin Hockey, watch the replay. 0 forward support. Stu holds it, sees 2 Sabres crashing in. Probably should have rimmed it. Boost hesitates with nobody to pass it to. Ugly all around. You know, it's a weird play. I watched it 4 times before I had to, like, WTF that's actually going on here. Like, well, but literally, like, what I'd love to know what was going on there and inside. The only thing, you know what last night kind of looked like, there's the 2 most dangerous weapons in the entire NHL are Connor McDavid's speed and Tage Thompson's reach. Like, they completely forgot he was 6'7" and had a 11-foot reach and can collapse on you from the circle in about 1 second. Like, if somebody said, Boosh, you should pass it right to Tage. Like, just put it right on his tape. They couldn't have looked any better than that. You know, like.
Yeah, that was the most tape-to-tape pass I've ever seen. Unintentional tape-to-tape.
Just the wrong place, the wrong time, the wrong guy to give it to.
Just, I don't know. Mama Bouchard had a good amount of sprinkle on the game going to OT. I don't know. That's a weird one.
Skinner handling the puck sometimes reminds me a little bit of Mike Smith and how it just scares you. Like you just don't know what he's thinking at times. But the difference is Skinner's just not as good at doing it as Mike Smith was. Right? Like I know he learned from Smith for a couple years when he was here, but man, oh man, that is not Skinner's forte.
Mike Smith
So
did not scare me as much as Koski, if we're going to be blaming a recent goalie, and nobody scared me as much as Roley. Like, who in the history of hockey, other than Dwayne Rollison, can throw the puck up in the air and hit it like he's doing batting practice with the paddle of his stick to ice it down the like?
yeah.
Right there.
Just once, can we have a goaltender that's calm and rational with the puck? That's probably asking for a lot, but so it's probably fair to throw a little bit of that on Skinner to not put Evan in that situation. But the play was just so egregious. Like Bouchard can't make that play.
Either one of them could have rimmed that.
Yeah, 100%. That was just not a good play. And there was also the issue of the overtime goal where all three guys line up on the center line. Leon wins the draw back, and Bouchard can't win the race back to the puck, and the Oilers never touch it again for the rest of the game because it ends up in the back of their net on that possession. It's I think it was Connor Halley that kind of pointed that out. I saw that on X. I'm like, yeah, I don't understand why they're lined up on the red line. What advantage do you have by having that extra guy there, especially if the other team also doesn't have their guy on the red line?
The issue isn't that they lined up three on the red line. The issue is that Bouchard lost a... I had to stop myself. I was going to say a 50-50 puck battle. That's not a 50-50 puck battle. That's like a 80-20 puck battle. Bouchard needs to get that puck. Hands down. That's it. Then you have possession. Different game.
Probably helps if we don't leave somebody wide open in front of the net, too.
Yeah, three guys don't need to collapse like they're playing Timbits either. No, that's for sure. They look like they're herding cats in overtime.
Dallas, he can swarm defense.
I put that read more on McDavid than anybody because McDavid was kind of the last man for support and the last line of defense into the middle of the ice, and he did not have his head on a swivel, did not see Tuck standing there all alone. I mean, 5-on-5, that little trap play that Dry and Bouch were running on the half wall to try to get the turnover on McLeod. You like to see that, but not 3-on-3 overtime.
Yeah, you miss McLeod's speed when you see it out there. I don't know if I miss his perimeter play, but I miss his penalty killing. I realize that.
I don't miss paying him $5 million either.
I would not have
wanted
to pay him $5 million.
Well, no,
yeah.
I wouldn't want to be paying him $5 million right now. I liked him, but mind you, probably wouldn't be making $5 if he was here.
No chance he'd be making $5, and no chance he would have put up the amount of offense he did last year either. Yeah, we'd have been lucky to get 35 points out of him in a third line role, which would be nice. Like it'd be nice if we could get a third line center that'd do that for us. But yeah, if McLeod was going to make $5 million, I'm out on that.
Oh,
for
100%. Sure. Yeah, that's that. I miss that speed up the middle, and I miss that penalty kill. Like I can't tell you how many times that uniform fooled me. You'd see the 7 flash by, and you're like, "Oh, Connor! Oh no, that's Ryan McLeod." You know, it's just like one of those guys. But again, I don't miss the perimeter play. I don't miss the pussyfooting around and that stuff he was known pretty well for, and still looks like he's doing as well. So,
yeah, I can't envision much having changed for sure. Patrick, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, he just gets much better paid for it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Savoy's the much better hockey player, and I agree with Ace. What's up, Ace?
Yeah, totally agreed. And let's talk about Matty Savoy for a minute here because he's been fantastic lately. It started with 2 goals in I believe it was the Seattle game, right? He had the shorthanded breakaway. He finally got his second one. They converted on the second opportunity. And then he got a power play goal. I think it was a 5-on-3 goal. But the floodgates have kind of opened up for him ever since then. Like it took him however many games, 20 some odd games, to actually shoot a puck by a goaltender. He had his first goal deflecting off his shin pad, then he had an empty netter. And finally now he's starting to get some get some pucks by some goalies.
Wasn't like Janmark last year. He scored his third goal in like game 70, and it was finally via a shot.
Yeah, like tipped in off his pants against Seattle of all teams.
Yeah, they seem to be a good
but
way to get people going.
But for me, it's really good to see Savoy contributing in a top six role. He's been playing in the top six for quite a while now, which a lot of people were complaining about his usage earlier in the season, but we can't anymore. I haven't been looking into ice times for specific games recently, but I still don't think he's getting 18 minutes a night. But he's getting opportunities to play with some really good players, and every line he's been on has looked good, whether it's been with Podkolzin and Draisaitl or whether it's been with McDavid and Hyman or with Roslovic. Doesn't seem to matter. Savoy's looked good.
Yeah, I think as long as Roslovic's out, he's got a spot up there. Pretty much guaranteed, I think.
100%, as he should.
As he should, yeah.
Roslovic skating yet?
Not yet, no.
No.
I think we're still another 2-3 weeks away.
Oh, jeez.
Pending another Knoblauch update.
So him and Wallman are basically both New Year then?
Yeah, pretty much. Kapanen likely too. I mean, Christmas is kind of the target date, but that week after Christmas, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, Kapanen's a tough one. Who knows?
Yeah, that was frustrating. He was so close to returning. The last drill of the last practice before he was going to return, and he hurt himself again. And now he's out for multiple weeks again. It's super frustrating for him.
Yeah, Knoblauch just said a couple days ago, Wallman will take longer than anticipated. It's going to be a while. So if he's even saying that, he's usually saying less time. So he could be out for the rest of the year at the way Chris Knoblauch talks. Hopefully, as a joke. Yeah. And Roslovic and Kapanen around Christmas time. So that's coming up here. So they can't be too much longer if they are indeed coming back before Christmas.
And I believe it was Gregor today that hinted that Wallman might be going to LTIR here so they can call up a couple of guys from the minors for this upcoming road trip.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who they might be calling up. It could be any number of guys because there's some guys going in the AHL right now, but they've definitely got options.
Well, maybe Quinn Hudson. I know he was talked about maybe coming up, or might bring Howard back up for a bit. I don't know. Because it's kind of hard because those guys aren't going to get probably top six time, though. So you're probably looking for guys on your third line. But
yeah, that's the problem. We got some top six potential guys who don't have third line games for the NHL that are lighting it up in the A right now. Where do you want them in the NHL? I guess Noah Philp is returned to skating here this week. Still in non-contact jersey from what I understand, but he's close. And Clattenburg, I don't know what's up with him. He has the stitches above his eye. It's probably taking a little time to heal. But if Philp is healthy, then Clattenburg probably goes down, right?
Yeah.
If that might change if Wallman goes on to LTIR, but that's kind of the way I saw it. Was Clattenburg came up when Philp went out, and those two are kind of one for each other. Same salaries, and Clattenburg can go down without waivers, so it seems easy enough.
Yeah.
It's like I can't remember who brought it up. Stoff maybe or somebody. It'd be cool to see like Savoy, Howard, and Hudson all play on a line or something where they could have the AHL line come up.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could do it if they want to.
Yeah, they'd get like 3 minutes of ice time, but it'd be entertaining for a shift or two. Well, let's give Podkolzin a little bit of love here. Ace 96 saying that Pods is on pace for 15 to 22 goals this year. It scored a nice and greasy goal last night. And I was looking at his point pace. Last year he got 24 points in 82, if I remember correctly. And this year he's on pace for 36. So that's a tidy little improvement incrementally year over year. That looks like a real positive progression. Yeah, so let's talk about Podkolzin a little bit. What have you guys thought of him?
Well, it's amazing what happens when you go to the front of the net. somewhere where the Oilers don't like to hang out too much unless it's on the power play or something like that. But yeah, he scored the exact kind of greasy goal that we need to see from this. And it was a massive goal last night. It got Rogers Place just so riled up. It was fantastic. And Pods has got a lot of fans out there. So yeah, it's great to see. I hope he keeps it up. Just go to the front of the net. We don't see enough guys doing it. Like, this is so much of a perimeter team. So score that goal, fighting for a rebound. It was exactly what we needed to see from him.
Preemptive. Call me crazy, but I think that's the greasiest goal the Oilers have scored this year. I can't, name me one other goal that there was a puck battle in front of the net, and because of not a second effort, but a third effort, the Oilers scored.
Nothing else is jumping out to me. I think you might be right there.
I was trying to think of Savoy's first goal going in off his shin pad from inside the crease.
Right.
That wasn't so much a puck battle. That was more of a lucky bounce.
Maybe Tomaszek's first. Maybe Clattenburg.
Yeah, Clattenburg made the hit, went to the net, got a little bit of a bounce that came to his stick, and he had really good composure to put that one in.
I think I've made my point. It took us a minute to try to come up with 1 to 2 relatively identical comps on that Podkolzin goal. And I think that's saying a lot right now.
Yeah, well, it's not the kind of goal this team scores. It's all like the snapshots or blast from the point that has eyes, or it's not really. They don't get those kind of goals, and what a difference they would make.
Yeah. Who in the chat said the kid line? Some stranger. No, that goes too far back. Mac T had it was a Hamilton Bulldog. I think it was a Bulldog line. It was like Cleary and I don't know, frickin' Brian Swanson or something like that. And they brought them all up from the AHL, and they clicked. Anyways.
So let me just go back to your guys' point about the team self-load managing for a minute here, just because I think the schedule had a lot to do with that. Like, you're totally right. This team's been in the finals 2 straight years. We looked at what they did last year. They were near the bottom of the league, if not at the bottom of the league, in terms of hits throughout the entire regular season. We're all complaining about this team's not physical enough to win. And then we get guys like Zach Hyman running around like crazy, putting up hit records in the playoffs. So there's clearly a little bit of self-load managing happening. And I think this team has been through it enough times to understand that they're not out of it if they have a slow start. This is year 3 in a row of that same sort of outcome. But I think the schedule had a lot to do with it. McDavid even said something along those lines before last game. I know Ekholm's kind of talked about it a little bit. Nobody's going to use it as an excuse, but they're just the realities of the human body. But I'm going to segue into that with the team going for another 5-game Eastern roadie starting on Saturday. So do we think that a little time off and a little bit of home cooking has done this team some good and we're going to do better on the road this time around? Or is the Buffalo game a sign of some issues that are still plaguing this team?
All of the above. Really. Your mouth kept missing a very key word in the schedule comment you made twice there that you could blame the schedule for the self-load managing. The word you're missing is the Olympic schedule.
That's valid. Yep. Compressed schedule right now just because they got to get these games in before that break.
I love how they're debating the cereal I'm eating. It's hilarious. Well, boys.
Although for a condensed schedule,
few more guesses, and I'll show you. Oh.
Little side action on this one. Someone gonna get lucky.
Yeah, I'll put a little sprinkle on something.
Patrick, did you have a thought there?
I was just going to say, for all the condensed schedule talk, there has been quite a few breaks in between. Like, we've had a few times where there's been 3 or 4 days off. So it hasn't felt super condensed at times.
lately. I'll say lately, just because of this trip. Like that trip was 7 games in 11 days.
Yeah,
that was insane.
that one, yeah, fair, but
this homestand though, right? The last couple of weeks we've played on a Saturday and then not played again until a Tuesday. I think there was like it was between the Dallas and the Seattle game. We had 3 days off, so they've been a little kind to us on this homestand, which has been helpful.
Yeah. Recency bias,
yeah, recency bias at play there.
Let's just say that the Oilers could have used some of these frosted Lucky Charms last night.
They had a couple that got them to overtime, but they were one short. One horseshoe short.
They did come back from 3-0, so that's pretty lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And score with 2 seconds left.
Yeah, and it took unicorns and rainbows to get there.
Yeah, it also took Connor McDavid doing what he does to get there.
It's like the most disappointing I've ever been about being happy for Connor McDavid in a third period. I was like listening along, and I'm in a fantasy league, which is a head-to-head league. So, you place the same guy for this entire week. And I have Draisaitl, but I'm playing McDavid this week. So, like, of course, of all the games, McDavid would need to go nuclear and grab two goals in the third period. Let's just say I went from winning to losing really quickly in about 20 minutes. Just like most people that play McDavid in the third.
So you didn't have enough Lucky Charms last night either.
Facts.
I mean, I was saying it in my game rundown last night. That should have been a Connor McDavid goal in overtime for the hat trick and the big 4-3 comeback win. Like, that's what that was shaping up to be. And just to see it end that way was just like, I'm like, no, that's not how it's supposed to end. Connor's supposed to go down, get another epic goal, get the hat trick. We got hats littering the ice for the second time in 3 games, and they come back when they probably didn't deserve, but they should have got the win. So it should not have ended the way it did. But
no, I'm not rereading what Ace said, but let's just say Bouchard's defense makes me feel the same way.
At times.
I digress.
And we're coming up on decision time for the Olympic team, and I know Bouchard's name's been thrown out there a lot. He has simultaneously lost and earned his way onto that team a couple times this season. So, was last night the straw that broke the camel's back, or has he done enough over the last couple months to earn a berth onto that Olympic roster?
Is it that tight that one Bouchard well, let's be honest, there's maybe more than one Bouchard giveaway last night, but, is it that tight? I don't know. Bouchard's Bouchard. Bouchard's Bouchard. Bouchard be Bouchard. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, McCurdy was on Low Tide today. I don't know if you guys caught it, but I think he said, like, with Bouchard on the ice, the Oilers outscore their opponents 20-12. Pretty good D. When he's not on the ice, the Oilers get outscored 11-33.
Well, sounds like a pretty good player to me.
Yeah.
So, is that going to, every 10 games he has an absolute egregious giveaway that makes us all re-aggravate that scar above our eye from banging our heads against the wall. And then he just goes on doing Bouch things, right? Like, I'm sure the playoffs will come and he'll be plus 25, and right, if the Olympics are there, so with his buddy Connor, I'm sure he'll be just fine. That's
what I was going to say. Is like the playoffs is when he raises his game, and Olympics short tournament. I mean, maybe that you see the same kind of playoff Bouchard in a short Olympic setting.
Yeah,
that's entirely possible. And a lot of people say him and Makar are redundant. And Makar is obviously the better defenseman, but there's a highlight from the Nashville game last night where Makar made a giveaway in the corner and Nashville scores. And there have been other highlights of Makar making mistakes as well. So it's not as if he's perfect either. And so I don't know that that's the best argument for keeping Bouchard off the roster. Like, I don't think you can have enough puck movement and enough guys that can outscore their opponent like
possession.
that. Possession. You can't have enough possession either.
Yeah. No.
So
that argument makes no sense.
It's like saying, well, we have McDavid. We don't really need Draisaitl. We don't need two superstars.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we just
Right.
might as well not even bring McKinnon if McDavid's going to be there. We've already got a guy with speed.
Yeah, screw that Crosby guy too, right?
Like, yeah. Well, we don't need McDavid because we already have a captain. Crosby's going to be there.
No.
Just leave them all at home. No, yeah. Bouchard makes it on skill because he's one of the best defensemen in Canada. Or he doesn't because they're, trying to make a team that, who knows, that management feels that maybe they need a penalty killer in that spot. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think they like Parayko a little too much. So we'll see how it goes down. I personally don't see it happening. That doesn't mean I don't think it should happen, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say probably he's not at the end of the day, but we'll see how it goes between now. There's a lot of time till February, so
Yeah, 100%.
I think the hotter topic is whether, it's not Oilers, but whether they take Celebrini or Bedard or both.
yeah. Or is the guy that's getting rumored around here a lot, Binnington? I'm sure like he's going to be one of the three goalies probably, but is he still your starting goalie?
Yeah, I think he's earned the start at the beginning of the tournament. I mean, that doesn't mean squat. Luongo didn't start the tournament that Canada won. I don't think Brodeur started the tournament that Canada won.
No, Curse Joseph, I remember.
Did Binnington start? Did he start the Four Nations?
I think they played him the whole time, didn't they?
Go pillar to post.
Yeah, he played the whole time. Yeah.
So he's earned the start. I'd say it's a short leash, and the reason I think it's a short leash is because of his play this year. He was, last time I checked, bottom three, I guess it's the way you would word that, in goals below expected, saves below expected. What am I missing there in my fancy stats? Sorry, guys. Can't find it in my brain.
Yeah, no, nothing. You're good there. To shorten that up a little bit, Binnington has been trashed this year.
Yeah. And one of the worst. So, I don't know. It's hard. Montembeault hasn't been much better.
Yeah, for me, it's Logan Thompson.
Not your guy, right? So, if you're just bringing in a new goalie because that's been the best goalie this year, then yeah, I'd say short leash on Binner, and Logan Thompson probably gets the next look.
Yeah, I think those are your top two, and then bring who you want for the third guy, whether it's Montembeault if he shapes up a little bit as the season wears on here. Aiden Hill, we'll see how he does when he comes back from his injury.
Yeah.
There's still a little bit of time left here to decide that.
Who's your guys' defenseman? Let's just go back to the Bouchard thing then. What are we looking at for? Is Taves Makar a guaranteed top pair?
I think so.
Easily, yep.
Yeah, you're not taking Josh Morrissey.
He's in there.
Harley's there for sure. Theodore's there if he's healthy. Parayko's there because of the management. There's 6. Now, are you taking Uyghur? Are you taking Sanheim? Does Matthew Schaefer get a look?
I don't think Schaefer's happening here.
I'd say all of those guys are probably options over Bouchard, in my opinion.
Another guy that's not getting a lot of love, I think, is Jacob Chychrun out in Washington. I was kind of critical of the decision or the Oilers' interest in him, or at least the fans' interest in him when he was getting traded a couple of years ago. But man, he's been fantastic for Washington. He's among the leaders in points by defenseman this year. I mean, we know what his all-around game is. He's been great. So he'd be a good one on the left side.
Yeah, well, that's the best part about this country. We have so many great options. I mean, you're talking about who's not going to make it instead of trying to find out who you can bring on. So it's a good problem.
I think Chychrun was American.
Is he American?
No, I'm pretty sure he's Canadian.
I thought he was American.
Well, it's egg on my face if he's American, but I'm pretty sure he's Canadian.
Or is he a dual? Maybe he's a dual. Because he did have family in Ottawa, isn't that why he went there?
Could be like his dad used to play pro, and I think he was
yeah.
Toronto
Born
at
in
one point.
born in Florida, Boca Raton.
Oh well, there we go. That'll shut me up then. Like you look at a guy. I remember Sanheim was in the mix last
Wikipedia says
time.
American Canadian professional.
All right, so he could potentially be in the mix for Canada.
He is a dual American Canadian citizen of Ukrainian and Jewish descent. Yeah.
I just want to see where he's at in terms of scoring leaders here for this year.
Oh, he has chosen to represent Team Canada internationally. So,
Oh, well, there you go.
there you go.
Oh yeah, yes.
Eggs on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
American father,
Quantaki
Canadian
has
mother.
a little.
Yeah.
Quantaki has a little Canadian flag by his name, so yeah, that's where I got that from. But he's
Look.
sixth among D-men this year, 25 points.
Lucky Charms on my face.
But as I was saying, like Sanheim got the look last year because he can play both sides. Not sure how many other guys in the mix here can play on either side. So like Sanheim seems like a good one to me. Harley was kind of your number 8 last year. He stepped in and played well. I'm not buying the hype on this kid as much as I am over some of the vets that are in here. I don't think he's the lock that some people are saying he is, but maybe I'm missing something on Harley.
Yeah, I guess I maybe shouldn't have said lock, but I guess what I was saying, my context was lock over Bouchard.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. But you're not the only one that has said Harley's name is a lock. Like I think a lot of people are really high on him being on that team. I'm just not so sold when there's other some other names out there that bring a little more experience.
Yeah.
Well, there's always question marks when they make these teams, right? It's like, why didn't they take this guy? Why didn't they take this guy? I don't understand. It's just kind of whatever in the mind of the 3 people or 4 people who were deciding this, right?
Just
Oh, 100%.
Doing a quick search. Yeah. Matt Larkin and Steve Ellis both have Harley on there. Both have him in the top 4, actually.
Top 4. Yeah, we'll have maybe one of these pods coming up here before they announce the team at the end of the month. We'll have to make our own rosters and compare them, and we'll spend a little more time on it.
Agreed.
I think that could be a fun pod.
What do you mean they're all the same? No.
So that's the beauty of this, right? Like, there's so many great options out there, and so many differing opinions. Like, I don't think any of us would have the same roster, so I think that could be a lot of fun for sure.
Well, we could do one what we think, and then what we'd actually want if we were building the team.
Truth.
Might get some more differing opinions that way.
Yeah, we could even try to do like a consensus roster. Like I know TSN's done something like that a bunch of times in the past.
Yeah, no, that'd be fun.
Yeah, anyway, we have options for sometime down the road here. Dash, I know you wrote a piece for Heavy Hockey this week about McDavid, so you want to run into or get into that here for a minute?
Yeah, I can. I don't want to tease too much, to be honest, because it's a tough one to but tell you everything the article's about. Then you there's no reason to read that article. It's kind of one of those ones where there's a little bit of clickbait to it, right? So, it's called the secret behind the McDavid baubles, if you want to call it that. The hidden truth behind the McDavid baubles. I've heard Kevin McCurdy say it many times this year, several times on his low tide appearances. I've heard it from you guys. I've heard it from others that McDavid just looks like he's, not handling the puck as smoothly, or that there's just it's not quite as majestic or video game like that it has in the past. So I just started digging in a little bit to try to figure out, is this unforsaken statement and sentence that nobody's allowed to really take belief in, that McDavid might possibly be past his prime, have any truth to it? And the only way to really figure that out was to go and look at the Edge jersey microchips with the speeds, and it basically gave a pretty telling story that Connor McDavid has not lost a step. So Potentially the reason that he's bobbling the puck so much is that he's going faster than he ever has before. So if you're interested in reading the rest of that, encourage you to head over to heavyhockey.com. It's far and away the most popular article I've ever written. My X post alone has creeping up on 20,000 views, and I'm not sure what that article's hit online. I haven't had a chance to look yet, but appreciate that platform to say that, Lotsy. You've had a few on there yourself.
Yeah, I have, and I kind of had a quieter week on that front. So you got your piece got to take the lead on the show this week. You got the QR code for HH editorials in the top left corner of your screen. So give that a scan and go check out Dash's piece over on heavyhockey.com. Patrick, what's your response to that? How do you think McDavid has looked, or have you noticed the bobbles, and do you buy what Dash is selling?
Yeah, like I don't think he'd lost a step either. So I could see that. I mean, I think Connor is just kind of like based on the experiences he's had, and I think he's trying to probably at times pace himself, and it's not the same Connor that we saw like going for broke, and I think he's a bit more things are going through his head at the same time too. I think we're seeing a Connor McDavid with more experience and with what he's gone through in the playoffs and trying to work that way through the regular season as well. So he's not coming through you don't look like he's coming through as fast, and he's not coming through as the same top talent as he looked. So I think we're getting a more paced Connor McDavid.
Yeah, that's probably fair. My take on it is, I mean, the numbers don't lie. He's clearly not lost a step. I mean, the guy's what, 28 years old? I'd have to go and search it up, but like he's at his prime physically, so I don't think it's so much about him having lost a step. I think the schedule has a lot to do with it. And the thing that the numbers don't tell you is whether or not he has the puck on those rushes. Like he's surpassed 24 miles an hour once this season. It was his second fastest recording, or no, his fastest ever recording, second fastest of all time in this tracking era since 21-22. So we know the speed is there. It's just the with or without the puck aspect that Edge doesn't seem to measure. Just my eye test has said he's looked a little slower with the puck at times throughout the course of the season here, and the defenders have been kind of having an easier time covering him. They've had sticks in lanes for him, like they've had the stick out in front of him, so he's had a tougher time making moves. So I think that's more part. I think he was just overthinking things, and his brain wasn't working properly in the early part of the season because of fatigue. And I think now that he's had some home cooking, and just like the rest of the team, I think they've benefited from a little bit of rest. And like, look what he's done the last week and a half here. He's got the hat trick against Seattle. He had 2 goals last night and drug this team from the dead in the third period. I feel like he's looked a lot more dangerous in the last handful of games. So I don't think he's lost a step or anything like that. But I do think his play with the puck has improved, and I think he's really starting to deliver on his goal of shooting the puck more in the last week and a half here than he was earlier in the season.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that to do is also a big. I'm going to agree with Ace in the chat that the book's out on McDavid's zone entries, right? Like that hitch pass that, let's skate it out to just past the blue line and, let Connor McDavid skate all the way back to the Zamboni maintenance room to get a head start and just come blasting up the ice to get that little hitch pass, drop pass, whatever the hell you want to call it. And, Florida figured out how to stop that. Certain D-men have figured out how to stop that. I see Heiskanen's quite good at defending with his feet, as they say. I'm using quotation fingers for those of you that are just listening. Makar's obviously excellent at it. So there's guys that can thwart McDavid's skating in zone entries, I think for sure. Systematically, there's ways around it. And I would argue that systematically, the Oilers haven't really figured out a great way to do it any other way. And when we don't see McDavid getting blasted out of a cannon from the skate sharpening room, you miss those times where he's flying, 24.5 kilometers an hour up the ice.
Yeah, teams have done a good job of neutralizing the Oilers as they're coming out of their own zone and through the neutral zone in general, not just when McDavid's on the ice, it's in all situations. Like that breakout you're talking about, that's that power play breakout. That's not so much something that happens 5-on-5, but like 5-on-5, they just haven't been able to get out of their own zone because wingers have had trouble getting pucks off the wall and they've had trouble completing passes. And that has meant that McDavid hasn't had that many opportunities to attack with speed through the neutral zone. But I feel like they've done a better job of that over the last week and a half.
Yeah, I'd like to just address one more thing in this chat here too as well. I know Quaddy is another massive regular of ours, and I respect him a lot, but I'm going to disagree with him here. He said, a lot of that goal share stuff that McCurdy was spouting off about, and I mentioned here earlier on goal share is because he's on the ice with McDavid. But I think last checked it was 63 or 59 or high 50s or low 60s on goal share without McDavid or Draisaitl on the ice. So Bouchard holds his own.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think that we've got enough of a sample size over the past handful of seasons with that, or with with Bouchard, to know that he does just fine on his own without McDavid and even without Ekholm. Right? He doesn't need a babysitter out there. Like, regardless of who he's with, he's gonna have the odd giveaway, and he's gonna have the odd night like last night where it's forgettable.
Yeah.
But he's a solid defenseman overall.
I don't have my phone open. Patrick's the YouTube expert. Some guys can't see the chat. It might be all comments. Is that why, Patrick?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out the issue there.
And I just see Ace's comments say paired, so I'm not sure what that's about.
Oh, you know why? Because I'm also streaming this on my channel, and Ace is commenting on my channel. So if you're watching it on Heavy Hockey, you're not seeing Ace's comments yet.
All right. Well, I don't want to tell you to hang up on the Fanatics YouTube channel and come over to ours, but
another tab there and watch it on both.
That's right. There you go. Multitask, Ace. Can you? Jesus.
Or Ace, maybe you can just switch over and make everybody happy.
Anyways, mystery solved there. But let's get. I
kind of figured that was the issue.
Let's get everybody together there.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's all be one big happy family over on the Heavy Hockey channel.
Yeah, that's right.
Give Patrick's channel.
I was just trying to spread it out, not take away.
Or we could all bail on Heavy Hockey and go over to that one. It doesn't really matter ultimately.
100%.
But if you're watching and you don't follow Heavy Hockey, you better smash that subscribe button, for I will find you. Am I allowed to say that? I probably shouldn't say that. I'll be very angry.
Anyway, you're listening to the Heavy Hockey Podcast live on YouTube, on X, on Facebook, and on Edmonton Sports Talk via TuneIn and iHeartRadio. We got Lotsy here, joined by Dash and Patrick, the Oilers fanatic. Gentlemen, let's look ahead to Thursday night's game against the Detroit Red Wings. Another potential revenge game for the Oilers, as they went into Detroit and lost earlier in the season. But they've had a little bit of rest, and they're starting to play a little bit better. That didn't seem to help the Oilers against the Sabres in the first 40 minutes last night. Is it going to help the Oilers against the Red Wings tomorrow night? Let's start with you, Patrick.
Well, if they play the first 40 minutes, they're going to do a lot better. I mean, the last 20 minutes helps too, clearly. But if he can get out, not fall behind 3-0, help out your goaltender, and maybe they can be nice and throw John Gibson in there. He's having a crappy year. I guess he wasn't the answer everyone thought he was going to be, but we'll
shocking.
Leave that one off to the side, I guess. Because all I'm hearing now is Detroit should bring up Sebastian Cossa and go with Cossa and Talbot. But
it's almost like goalies are a product of their system. Go figure.
No way.
I've never heard that before.
Never.
But yes, I'm expecting a much better. I think, Connor McDavid's probably going to be pissed off with how that game ended. And, some of it, a lot of it's on, well, not a lot of it, but some of it's on his shoulders. I expect a bounce back game from Bouchard, and the team was playing excellent. I think it was like 4 out of their 5 games before the Buffalo game. They were looking really strong. So I'm expecting a big bounce back effort tomorrow night. So I think they're gonna find a way to get it done.
Yeah, what says you, Dash?
Oilers be Oiler in. They're probably just going to play to the level of their team that they're playing. So, Buffalo required, 18 minutes of effort to get a point. So, I don't know, relatively speaking, I'm going to guess they play about 26 to 28 minutes of good hockey. Probably make it pretty close. Yeah, I think there's some redemption there. There's been a bit of a pattern of put a couple good stretches together, right? The Florida end of the road trip in November. The Florida games looked okay. There was the Tampa game that they played all right. The Panthers game where clearly they saved something to not get embarrassed in their building, and then a big stinker, and then a couple more, and then a big stinker. So I think last night, even though it was 4-3, this is probably their stinker, really. Like, if you look at effort, that was definitely less than 20 minutes of viable hockey. Yeah, call it 4-3 again, and the Oilers get a point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, like even that third period comeback, they had 2 of the 3 goals in the first 2.5 minutes, and they didn't score again until 2 seconds left. So it wasn't even a full, like they were better in the third period, but it still wasn't even like a super strong full 20-minute period.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. 18 might have been gracious. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
Just comparatively, it was better.
No. I smell what you're laying down there. I get it.
So I got tabs on the Wings Flames game right now. Flames just scored to get them to within 1. It's 4-3 Red Wings right now with 4:10 left in the third. So it looks like the Wings are going to win their third straight here, and they're fourth in their last 5. So they're playing some decent hockey right now. But so are the Oilers, aside from last night. And after they lost that 1-0 game to Minnesota, I said that the Oilers were going to win out this homestand. And yeah, they proved me wrong last night with that effort against Buffalo, but I still think they're going to finish out the homestand strong here with a big win against Detroit, and then get ready for another 5-game trip out east.
You want to see
I'm just
something?
Sorry, I just want to address something in the chat. Elizabeth asking is it true that Evan Bouchard is on waivers? That may be the wish of several people following the game last night, but no, Evan Bouchard is not on waivers today.
No, most definitely not.
Let's just clear 10.5 of cap space and go get Jeremy Swayman. Yeah, right.
I don't even think anybody would claim him. Does anybody have that much cap space?
People that want to get to the floor, maybe, but San Jose might consider it. This is kind of funny. I just was looking at the standings here a little bit. So Detroit's got 35 points. Edmonton's got 32. Not exactly the same, but pretty close. Both teams are exactly 4-4-2 in their last 10. Both teams have exactly -7 goal differential on the year. Red Wings have scored 95 and let in 102, and the Oilers have scored 99 and let in 106.
No, pretty even matchup for the season so far. I will say the Wings have given us problems over the past 2-3 years here, because they got some speed. They can clog it up well enough if they need to. They don't have the same amount of offensive pop that the Oilers do, but they found a way to shut us down in some games.
Name me a team outside of Nashville that hasn't given us fits at times.
Well, okay, I think that's a pretty general statement.
I'll hang up here. I'll hang up and wait for your call, or I'll hang up and wait for your answer. Yeah, Colorado give them fits, Dallas give them fits unless it's the playoffs. Minnesota's giving them fits. They can never seem to. Winnipeg's a pretty easy matchup over the years unless it's the bubble playoffs. I don't know.
Anaheim's given us problems. They're one of those teams that have been mediocre to less than that have caused the Oilers some problems over the last few years.
We've owned Calgary for quite some time and sent Vancouver and both Calgary into a rebuild, but seem to always struggle against Buff, seem to always struggle against Toronto seemed to always struggle against Montreal.
The common denominator is you shouldn't be struggling against those teams, so we do struggle against those teams.
Oilers be Oilerin'.
Yep, Oilers are gonna Oiler.
Can you
That's
see
how
who's
they're coming to town.
playing
Yeah.
in goal for Detroit tonight? Lotsy?
Tonight?
I could probably
Yeah.
figure that out. Some stranger suggesting Talbot might start tomorrow. It would be fun to see. It's always fun when a former Oiler comes in and gets to play against the old team, but that doesn't usually bode well for the Oilers. So
Yeah, it is.
maybe I hope it
Gibson's
is
playing
Gibson.
tonight.
Gibson's playing tonight. So yeah, odds are Talbot plays tomorrow.
That'll be 3 in a row for Gibson. Talbot hasn't played since December 4th.
Oh, yeah, this seems like a golden opportunity to get him in. So maybe Talbot's feeling a little bit of rust. Hopefully that's the case if he plays for the Red Wings tomorrow night.
Ex-Oilers never have success against Oilers.
No.
Yeah,
didn't happen last night either. Well, don't remember it. Never happened.
And
Maybe
so after
future
the
Oilers?
Detroit, maybe future Oilers. Dun, dun, dun. It was at Pete
Thing is,
Blackburn had that tweet about
Buffalo
Alex Tuck.
says the exact same thing about all their players when they go to another team too. So if Tuck comes to Edmonton, you know he's going to shine.
Wow. With Buffalo, they definitely didn't have success there because nobody has success there. But
Exactly.
Yeah. Looking ahead to the weekend and to this 5-game Eastern road trip up ahead, we got Toronto on Saturday. Should be a fun matchup. A speedy team, but they're struggling. So who knows what's going to happen there. Montreal is going to be a fun one. Another team that's given us problems recently, but they got a good group over there. Pittsburgh playing well this year. Skinner versus Jari, perhaps. That's next Tuesday. We got 3 of those before our next show, and then the trip rounds out with a trip to Boston and Minnesota. So Thursday the 18th. That's their last game in the Eastern Conference this season.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Right? Yeah, that's insane. So the hard part of the travel is already over for the Oilers. But how are you guys feeling about this road trip coming up? Will the extra miles just be too much to handle for these boys, or did the break help them enough to help them figure it out?
Like, I hate to be a broken record, but my prediction is that they're going to put in somewhere between 20 to 40 minutes of effort into each game. They're going to win no more than 2 in a row and play to the level of the team they're playing and scrape out the bare minimum amount of points that they can. That's my prediction. How's that for
2-2-1? Sounds about right.
Being a smart ass and probably right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. 2-2-1 sounds about right to me too. Like that, their record on the road has probably been a little bit less than that this year, but the extra miles on the body right here before Christmas just kind of seems like a difficult trip on top of a few other difficult trips they've had already this year. And they got some good teams that they're up against, good quick teams that the Oilers would typically struggle against. So, Montreal doesn't seem like a win. Pittsburgh and Minnesota don't seem like wins to me either. Boston and Toronto seem like the gettable games there for me.
Yep, that's fair. And then it looks nice after that, right? They come back home and looking at 2 against back to back, I guess, with Calgary. But yeah, I don't know. It's if you look at this road trip alone, 4-4-2. I like that. Wouldn't it be interesting if Jari and Skinner just trade, Jari and Picker just like trade jerseys at the beginning of the game, like a soccer game?
That'd be funny. I don't see it happening, but it'd be funny.
No.
I'll steal a bit from the Oil Stream today. The Oilers have not won more than 2 games in a row all season. Having a look at the schedule up ahead, when do you think the next time is that the Oilers could potentially win 3 games in a row for the first time this season? Okay, so here's just a few to keep the the sound going while you guys look. A few people thought they might do it on this road trip because potentially, maybe Detroit, Toronto, Boston just bang it off right now because there's a revenge game coming off of this Buffalo game. Maybe it's Calgary, Winnipeg. That said, Hellebuck's going to be back by then, and we've very much seen why he's won the Hart and the Vezina. That team is very much struggling without him. Is it the stretch a few more games later when it's Philly, Nashville, Winnipeg? I don't know. You got to kind of keep scrolling, and all of a sudden you're in the new year. So, the way they're playing right now, you guys, it's hard. It's hard for me to lay down a real solid prediction. I think if I was to put money on it, it might be Boston, Philly, Nashville. But like January 3rd's coming in after the break. We all know how they are after breaks.
That's valid. I was just looking at Philly, Nashville, Winnipeg as a potential run that they could go on there. So after that, you got the Kings, the Blackhawks, who are playing well this year, and then Nashville again. So like we got two matchups against Nashville in the first 2 weeks of January. It's just there's an LA and a Chicago game in between there that scare me a little bit. And
Maybe it's
when do you think Hellebuck's coming back?
well, he's skating already, so I would think he's back by the next time the Oilers play them.
Yeah, it's possible. I thought it was going to be like 6 weeks, but that could have been 4 weeks ago for all I know.
Yeah, how long has that been? I'm not sure. I don't know. There's a stretch there in mid-January, Nashville at home against the Islanders, and then in Vancouver, or else Islanders, Vancouver, St. Louis.
Yeah, TSN says Hellebuck could return next week.
I thought I heard something like that, yeah. Or maybe that was on the oil stream, actually. They said that.
Yeah, Philly, Nashville, Winnipeg's the most likely, probably, but I could see the Oilers beating Calgary before the Christmas break and after, and taking Winnipeg. Because
maybe it's Vegas.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Vegas, Calgary.
Yeah. I'd have a hard time betting on the two of those 3 wins being right after a holiday break.
Yeah,
that's valid.
Yeah.
Or do they break that trend? But
it's the rule until it's not.
That's right.
Yeah, I was thinking Vegas, Calgary for a second, but when they get that first game back after a lengthy road trip's never usually good. So it's hard to see them beating Vegas, even though they're struggling. And then back to back against Calgary seems like a split.
And it's 1:00 against Minnesota the day before, so that's a pretty quick turnaround too.
100%.
Some stranger asked what the regulation record is. It's 13-11. Is that right? No, that's not right.
Let's see
13-11.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean regulation wins. They only had 4 regulation wins as of like a week and a half ago.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Let's see. The Oilers have 13. Oh, no. That's regulation overtime wins. Stat News is the worst, in my opinion. But
are they 30? What are we, 30 games in?
Yeah, exactly 30.
And they've had 6 overtimes?
Yeah. Well, they have 6 overtime losses. Because they're 13, 11, and 6.
Oh, yeah, right. Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Regulation wins. Oilers have, I'm scrolling way down to the bottom here. They have 8 regulation wins, 27th in the league.
Well,
So yeah, regulation time hasn't been very kind to us for sure. We're being carried by some Bettman points, 100%.
Yeah. I'd like to see a breakdown too of Like who are those regulation wins against? Does it tell you there, Lotsy? And then even like who are our overtime wins against?
I'd have to spend a couple
I
minutes
would-
on Hockey Reference for that.
Oh, you know what? I think I can figure that out right here. The reason I ask is like have we beat a good team this year?
We got curb stomped by two really good teams. I'll tell you that much.
Okay, beat Vancouver in game 2, the Rangers in game 3, and I think they hadn't scored in 3 games at that point.
Yeah, they weren't a good team at that time.
We beat Montreal 6-5.
Wild game.
We beat
not a quality win.
Utah 6-3.
I actually got a list of all their teams that they beat here if you want.
Yeah, sure. Then it's Florida, who's been bad, Seattle, who's been bad, Seattle again, who's been bad, Winnipeg without their best player.
Yeah. So they've beaten Vancouver, the Rangers, the Senators, Canadiens, Mammoth, Chicago, Columbus, Philly, Carolina, Florida, Seattle twice, and Winnipeg.
Senators was an OT win. I remember that game.
Yeah.
So that can't be in there.
Yeah, so basically what you're saying is not a
Yeah,
lot
that's
of
their
high-quality
overall wins.
regulation wins.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, gotcha. I was just
Yeah.
like regulate. Oh, yeah, plus overtime wins. That's right. That's what I asked you. I'm sorry. Yeah. So how many of those teams are in the playoffs right now? Is Vancouver in this?
Vancouver's dead
No.
last or second last.
Are the Rangers? Are the Senators?
Sens no. Rangers no.
Montreal.
Montreal looks like a wild card spot potentially. No, they're not even in a wild card spot right now.
Utah.
Utah 31 points compared to they're tied for the last wild card spot.
Chicago's there. They're in there. Columbus. Nope. Philly. Nope.
Carolina must be, aren't they?
Carolina must be.
Yeah, it looks like Chicago's ahead of the Mammoth for some reason here. They got weird on her backwards on Google. Anyway.
Florida, nope. Seattle, nope. Seattle, nope. Winnipeg, I think so. So they beat three teams all year that are sitting in playoff position, and one of them's a wild card.
I don't think anyone's higher than a wild card. It's Chicago, who I think is in a wild card spot right now. Then the Habs, who are not in a wild card spot. I can't even see who the other one is. Carolina, yes. Okay. Yeah, Carolina's there. Yeah, you're right. So that's the only one.
And Winnipeg.
No, they're not in.
So the only team that we've beat that isn't a wild card team all year is Carolina.
That's right.
That should be a tweet, gentlemen.
There'll be a time and a place for that tweet.
Not now? All right.
I
mean, those things are going to change. Some of those teams are going to move up in the playoffs and it won't be relative anymore. But if legitimately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 wins, 3 of them have a playoff spot currently. And one of them is better than a wild card team. That is the definition of doing the absolute minimum you can to get by. Wow.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at least the travel gets easier in the second half. A lot more home games in the second half. What was it? 16 of their first 24 were on the road.
Yeah.
7 of those were in an 11-night trip.
Looks like we put Eastern travel. Yeah, that November schedule was something else.
It really was, and like we said before, they're finishing up the eastern portion of their road schedule on Thursday of next week already.
Yeah.
So yeah, those types of stats are going to come up from the first half of the season for sure, but that'll turn around in the second half.
Yeah. Well, everybody's so close right now. I mean, in both
Oh.
conferences, it's crazy. Like,
Weird year.
yeah, you win 4 games in a row, like you can move up like 10 spots. It's like,
Yeah, you go from lottery to contending playoff position.
Yeah, and the Oilers are one of those teams in a wild card spot right now. So the sky isn't totally falling, even though, like you say, the regulation record hasn't exactly been sparkling.
Yeah.
No, that's why I haven't lost faith or anything like that, because it's all so close right now, and with the schedule favoring them more in the second half and stuff, I mean, you just can't count anything out yet.
Well, Detroit's got 37 points now.
Yeah, they got the win over Calgary.
Yeah. 4-3, just like the score I predicted for the Oilers and Red Wings.
Good, they'll be happy. They can afford to lose tomorrow now.
Yeah, they've won 4 out of 5. The ball has to burst sometime soon here. Why not tomorrow?
Pressure's off.
Like
Cheapers.
Like in the Pacific Division, though, the Ducks have 39 points with 30 games played, so equal amount to the Oilers. Vegas at 37 with a game in hand. The Kings at 35. And then so a little bit of a gap between the Kings and the Oilers, 3-point gap there at 32. Then the Sharks at 31. Even the Kraken at 28, but they've only played 27 games. So they have 3 games in hand on us, right?
Yeah.
So it's tight. And then you get the Flames also at 28 points, but they've played 31 games. And then the Canucks at 25. So the middle part of that group is pretty close. In the Central, you got 4 teams that are within 2 points of each other, or 3 points of each other, fighting. They're fighting for wild card spots. And in the East, you got 7 of 8 teams above 30 points in the Atlantic. And then everybody's above 32. Like the Caps have 39 in the Metro, and the Jackets have 32, and that's last place. So that's first to last, separated by 7 points. So it's totally tight. It's still early enough in the season where anything can happen. It's pretty open. The Oilers could still win the division here, for Pete's sake.
Oh boy. Yeah, they could.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it happening, but it's possible.
Well, if it stays like this, it's going to be one of the craziest finishes ever. Like people are going to be watching like right till almost like the final buzzer on some of the games just to see who like even gets in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Last night was the first night ever where there were 4 games that were decided or that were tied up in the last 15 seconds of regulation. 4 games. We had the McDavid goal, 2 seconds left. I think it was Vegas that tied it up on the Islanders with 12. Who else? People are going to have to help me out on this one. But there were 2 other ones that were right down to the wire. Anaheim and Pittsburgh, that was a last second goal. I think there was like 0.3 of a second left when that crossed the line.
Mm-hmm.
And there was one other one.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, 3 of those 4 teams involved Pacific Division teams. Of course they did.
That's why you don't leave games early.
Yep.
Never.
Saw lots of people leaving last night.
Really, hey?
Oops.
Even after 2?
Yeah.
Well, no, just
What,
like
really?
going in. It didn't look like they were going to tie it, but of course, under 2 seconds to go, there it is.
Yeah, I mean, they were pressing the last 6-7 minutes of that game. It just felt like they were going to get that goal.
Yeah, I think I saw a bunch of people leave after they got that 5-on-3 power play. It's like, it's probably going to be over now. But to their credit, they killed it off. So
yeah, that was wild. That sequence, all those penalties. The Oilers were down 5-on-3. Then they took one to cancel out the second penalty, and then they took another one.
Yeah, no, it was getting stupid.
I'm still lost in this lack of playoff teams. The only 3 teams are Philly, Chicago, and Carolina, and all 3 of those were overtime games. So we have not beat a team that holds a playoff spot in regulation yet this entire season, 30 games in.
Carolina was overtime too. Yeah, that's true.
Wow. 30 games in, and the Edmonton Oilers have not beat a team that holds a playoff spot in regulation to this point. Patrick, clip that. That's a short.
That is a short. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Now
It's a
we're
wild
20.
stat.
Okay, I got it.
Timestamp.
Yeah, perfect.
Crazy.
One thing we didn't talk about from the game last night was the disallowed goal, the hand pass. And the hand pass has been a controversial issue in the league this week. I think there were 3 other goals that got disallowed or were involved in controversial challenges due to hand pass rulings this week. Lindy Ruff sounded off about it after the game. He was not pleased with the call. And my personal take on it, it looked like Tuck used his hand to direct the puck towards Tage Thompson, even though his hand was on the stick, and his hand may have been trying to avoid contact with an Oilers player in the crease. So I thought it was the right call, but what do you guys think?
Look very incidental. If he did that on purpose, he executed that perfectly and still got caught apparently. But I don't know. My first watch, I thought it was a good goal. Second watch, I still thought it was a good goal. I see where the debate comes in. I don't know. Yeah. If I'm the ref, I probably allow that.
Yeah,
What do
I'd
you
say,
think, Patrick?
yeah, I was gonna say it looked incidental too. I actually was at the game. I thought it was a high stick that they called it back on. I didn't realize I didn't see that until after I'd gotten home. It's like, oh, that was actually a glove thing that they were, because I thought they were checking to see if it stick was up high. And yeah, no, looking back, seeing that it was a glove thing after, it did look incidental to me. But I guess it met their criteria. I mean, with these things, you never know what the hell the call's going to be because they probably don't know what the call's going to be. I mean, it's such a crazy league for how they call things and how they make their decisions. And we've seen so many crazy things that we think should count and they get called back. And it's like you counted that, but you didn't count that. And I mean, so it's a coin flip.
You know what you do about that situation though is after you recognize that Tage Thompson is angry about it and hungry, you just you give him a pass right in the crease. Right, really. Just let him bang one home. Like right.
Well, he felt bad.
Right
he knew that should have counted. So.
Give him
Everybody who's
nothing but time and a free puck in front of the net. See what he does with it.
Here's your sign. I got a buddy who's super competitive, and he refuses to win with an asterisk. So, like, if there's any sort of debate about anything that happened in whatever matchup or competition game that you're playing in, like he hates when that happens. So I guess
be the best, you gotta beat
to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I guess Bouchard was just trying to remove the asterisk from that potential Oilers win. Here's a goal for you, Tage. Shut up about it.
A whole different kind of Boosh bomb.
Christmas came
early. A little bit different.
Christmas came early. Old Santa Boosh.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, like if his hand wasn't moving towards Thompson, then I would have leaned a little more towards incidental contact. But his hand was moving that direction.
Last night, there was a guest host on the Oprah Winfrey show, and Evan Bouchard was just, "You get a puck, you get a puck, everybody gets a puck."
That's frustrating.
We should probably end on that right there, actually. That's the quality we're at here tonight.
We've got 5 minutes left in our show here. So I guess this is probably a good time to kind of go around the horn, do our final thoughts. Anything you may have missed or didn't get a chance to say throughout the show, and anything that you want to add. Where can we find you? What have you got coming on or going on in the next week or so here? So on and so forth. So I guess I'll go first. I didn't find myself really thinking, oh boy, I really need to say something this time. So that was a little bit different. Maybe it's because we're all tired, but frustrating loss last night. And yeah, the Oilers have had a tough time getting their engines going here. They sputtered at times, like they need to press the choke button a couple times to get the gas flowing a little bit. They're close to starting up, but then we see a game like the first 40 minutes of last night happened. So I feel like the rest has been really helpful, and they've got some good things happening. Just need a little more time to click, and we'll see how it goes. Not super optimistic about the road trip, thinking 500 hockey's at best here, but we'll see how she goes. You can find me at Lotsy Ryan on X, and you can always find me writing articles for Heavy Hockey Network, aside from this last week. But next week, I'm sure I'll have a little bit more content for you guys over at heavyhockey.com and on my X account as well, because that's where you can find me. And we would be remiss if we didn't take a minute to mention the Heavy Hockey Showdown, a 2026 version. We have a date set. It's March 14th at the Downtown Community Arena. And our expectation is that early bird registration is going to go out on December 15th. So that's 5 days from now, right? So people that are eager and anxious to find out what's going on with the Heavy Hockey Showdown and to get their names involved, December 15th. With that, I will pass it over to Dash, and we'll go from there.
I have said enough tonight. I don't know what else that I can come up with that's witty. How about I end with a little story, and then I'll give it to Patrick. So you guys know that I was a game time decision tonight. I came in despite a UBI, upper body injury, and may or may not have been spitting blood, a few moments before the podcast, and you can thank my 6-year-old's glorious headbutt to the teeth in his Hollywood hug that he gave me with running into Daddy today. So we screwed that one up a little bit. But I was in Calgary this weekend, and I don't know what it is with Calgary, but I seem to run into some sort of trouble every time I get there. And this was a trip that was no different than any other. I was there for a Christmas party this weekend. And the first part of the story is that we're charging when we first get to Calgary, and I have my electric vehicle with the Edmonton Oilers license plate, and some lady that's also charging her vehicle with her kid. I don't know, he's about 13 or 12, maybe somewhere in that range. They're walking to go and do something or other, and said, you guys are pretty brave to have that Oilers plate around here. And her, I'd kind of take pause and think to myself, yeah, it probably is pretty brave, actually. But her kid's got this Giordano jersey on. So I just kind of calmly looked over and said to the lady, like, I appreciate your concern, and quite honestly, I think you're pretty brave allowing your child to wear that choking hazard. So then we get to the hotel, and as Calgary usually goes, I end up getting in some sort of conflict or fight or what have you. So, we pull up to the hotel, and, we've unloaded some luggage in the lobby already, and load up the cart, and I'm going for what's, probably the last trip of luggage. And Mrs. Dash is almost at the front of the line to get and check into the room. So, noticing that, I kind of try to pick up my step a little bit. And as soon as I, pick up my speed just a little bit, what happens? Typical Calgary. 2 seconds later, I get absolutely sucker punched, like completely sucker punched by a 2x2 foot patch of concrete with ice on it, and went completely ass over tea kettle and threw my coffee up about 15 feet in the air, and everything goes full slow motion. I'm like, oh boy, I'm about to land on my head. Okay, maybe twist a little, shoulders better than head. Oh, hey, there's my coffee. Oh, look, there's the concierge. Oh, he sees my coffee. And then it all kind of went at the same time. And I went up to the hotel room, fell asleep, woke up the next morning, missed my party, and came back to Edmonton. Patrick, over to you.
Okay.
Been sucker punched in Calgary lately?
No. Calgary is actually usually pretty good to me. They don't know me as well down there, so if they knew who I was, they probably would sucker punch me. But yeah, I'll keep my thing as per usual. Thank you to everybody in the chat for joining us for this one, kind of impromptu one tonight, but I think it was just nice just having a chat, the three of us, and going over the last little bit here. The Oilers, like I said before that Buffalo game, I think it was 4 of their last 5 or 5 of their last 6. They were starting to look really good. So hopefully they can get back on track here. As we said, that road trip coming up, it's going to be hard to picture winning 3 in a row, but win as many as you can, get back into the picture here. Everyone is so close right now. There's a lot of chances for this team to move up, but at the same time, with everyone being so close, you can easily find your way going down as well. So I know it's been a lot of negative talk of this guy getting traded or this guy getting fired. So as an Oilers fan, I've appreciated that the narrative has changed over the last little while here. We're talking about positive things for the most part. Obviously, last night was a step back, but really loved being at that 9-4 win over Seattle last week. That was amazing, watching them take Winnipeg down 6-2. So hopefully the good things can continue to happen for this team. We'll see some guys come back from injury here over the next little while, and hopefully they can get on that second half roll that we usually see from this team. So I think that's all I got to say on this one, guys. You can find me on my channel over at the Oilers Fanatic. Some of you are watching this on the Oilers Fanatic right now. So if I can just get the rest of you to leave heavy hockey, you can just watch it over on my channel. Don't worry about supporting these guys. They're fine. I mean, like, look at those mansions those two guys are living in. They don't need anything. Jokes aside, support us both. You can find my content here and a lot more great content on the Heavy Hockey website and here on the channel as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Have a great night.